figure out a way to make things actually well priced without having to retcon everything because I
Head count, Macarios.
growl.
Jimmy!
Conrad.
Shut up, Jimmy.
Jimmy!
So
All right. It sounds like most of us are here. We're missing Cannon as Yalbrun and Dakota as Ree.
Right. We're gonna correct this to death.
Unfortunate losses,
Okay.
but not unexpected.
Have you already texted Cannon? Has anyone texted Cannon?
I don't have his phone number. If
I think
you
he's
can,
tuckered out. I think Ruben has it. Ruben, don't you have it?
Cannon's number? No.
So you're saying I should probably text him then?
Tiersten has it. Yeah.
All right. Let's get the rehash out of the way, and then we'll get started. Very quick from the beginning. I'm going to cover briefly a lot of stuff. Questions are always welcome at the end of the sort of rehash. If there are things that I'm missing or things that don't make sense or you remember differently, we'll talk about it. But from the beginning, you guys started off as a group of adventurers who had all been hired separately or together as guards on a caravan. The caravan was led by an orc sort of warlordy guy by the name of Balgruff. He took you to a place. You guys went to the place. You found out there were 3 mysterious druids there. You killed the druids. Turns out they had some sort of weird connection to the Shadowfell. Crystal there. You guys got the crystal. Crystal seems to try to pull everyone into it, to some sort of realm of the Shadowfell. Name Savra popped up. None of you know the name. None of you know the deal with the crystal. All you were able to figure out is that the crystal seems to work on some sort of level with 4 other crystals that are out there somewhere. You also found out that the person who hired you indirectly is this Lord Aster Vastrian from the city of Asenvir, a well-known, profitable city out in the middle of the ocean, which is where out on an island in the middle of the ocean, which is where you guys just headed. You also found a gnome hiding in the forest who was apparently stalking this Balgruff by the name of Twix Drackle. One of the things you recovered from the druids was a enchanted scroll case that opened only with her blood that showed that her family lineage is a direct descendant from the gold dragon Reneth, a legendary dragon of 1,000 years ago, well known to have basically created the world the way it is today. Not so much created it, but more cleansed it of all the evil creatures so that the normal races could start to live. The fact that she has this blood running through her makes her incredibly potently magical, although she is in no way able to control this. This has already been seen by a couple of you magic users who have either been doing spells near her and noticed some weird effects of what happens with her when they're happening. Her eyes will sparkle, they'll be bending in the air around her, and the fact that she seems to have a lot of trouble casting any sort of spells with any sort of consistency. They sort of just fly wildly out of control and mess up. Moving right along, you guys got on a boat heading towards this city, as right now your current only lead onto the whole deal with where these druids are coming from, what are they trying to do, what is going on, is this Lord Astervastrian. So you guys are going to hunt him down in Asenvir. The only thing you know about him is that he is a noble, a pretty powerful noble, although no one has seen him in over 20 years. He's a recluse in the middle of his home. No one has seen him in ages. So that's all you right now know about him. You get there, before you were able to actually do any sort of investigating, finding this guy, any of that deal, you notice a bunch of guards running around. You decided to follow the guards and see what was going on. Turns out they are from the city of Quarfel. The only reason that is relevant is because Twix has a brother now named Eldon. Last she knows of him is he was in Quarfel. He apparently was going to join the army. These guards have never heard of him. They don't know anything about him. They are tracking a well-known vigilante in the city of Quarfel, a man by the name of the Firebug. No one's really seen him. No one really knows what he looks like. All they know is that he wears red, and he seems to be, well, just that, a vigilante, trying to bring justice for the people of Quarfel. He kills people, but almost indiscriminately, no matter how low level or how high level the victim is, he will burn them to death. It's really bloody, and they're like, we got to put him away. They tracked him here, trying to get to him proved to be more of a difficulty. The party ended up stepping in to sort of take over for the sort of regular city guards and ended up getting to the top where they found not the Firebug, but one of his more recent victims. They found a lot of indications that he's a very skilled artificer of some sort with some interesting gadgets and stuff like that lying around. Very complicated traps, blah, blah, blah. You guys remember that. You guys got the drill. That's where we left off. Anything that I left out that people feel like I missed out on, or questions people had, things that they forgot or think are relevant that I didn't bring up, anything like that?
Not that I can think of.
Going once. Okay, going once, going twice, going chicken soup with rice. Sold.
I'm
What?
offended
Wait.
by that statement.
What did Grawl punch while I was gone?
Nothing.
Grawl watched as everyone else went into the big dangerous building.
No.
Notes are.
Grawl helped with the bucket brigade.
Ah, good.
That's probably what he did. That's true. Notes from most recent session look to be pretty darn good. Yeah. Skip that over. That's true. Yeah. Notes from last time are pretty good. You could go there. The couple of things that I would mention that are not directly referenced in the notes, besides what I already said about him, about a bunch of the stuff you figured out about him, and I did forget to mention that you guys actually found a map with some of his seemingly intended targets in Asenvir itself. Sorry. Oh, shoot. I'm down to one water bottle. Okay. I'm going to need to get a water bottle in the middle of this.
Here, I have a water bottle for you.
I'm sure there will be a period of time where we're just standing around talking.
Here, all right, I've got a water bottle for you.
I got to actually be better about allowing periods of time like that. I'm very bad at letting the players do stuff. The only thing I would mention to Grawl in this case, that isn't directly referenced in the notes, is the dwarvish rune tendency this firebug seems to have. The only things known about him physically is that he's rather short, about dwarf or gnome sized. And he seems to have a tendency to mark places with the dwarvish rune of fire. His hideout was no exception.
I see.
That leaves us where we left off, right after you guys sort of finished examining the body, found that there had been like this sort of toxin poured in him, not toxin, like corrosive acid poured down his throat. Seems to be the way that this individual was killed. And yeah, you guys are on the docks. The building is still burning and collapsing where you left. Shards of like burning wood and sparks are flying everywhere. It's quite a spectacle, and most people are still watching this thing go down. The water brigade has completely dissolved. The heat's too intense for it to do anything. A bunch of people have sort of started working to prevent the building next door from catching fire. But fortunately, since the walls are relatively stone, are made out of stone, it doesn't seem to be catching, and they're doing a decent job of preventing it from burning. So this fire is probably not going to spread.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I think I need a short rest.
I'm actually quite good to go.
Oh, shoot.
I feel like I've been resting for a while and could go for a very long time.
This is a very weird conversation to have right in front of the head guard.
Well, we should probably figure out what their next move is going to be, and if it has anything to do with us.
What
was his name? Derek?
Devin, I believe.
Devin.
I'm trying to pull up my own notes. Give me a second. Oh, yeah. Devin, God of Quaffle. And the cloak you found was a cloak of fire resistance. I don't know if anyone ever ended up claiming that.
I
No.
can't wear it, apparently.
Okay.
Why?
cloak of fire resistance?
I call it.
Is that what you said?
Jimmy, you can't wear it?
No,
Why?
I have my own cloak, bitch.
You're what?
I have my own cloak. It's not special, it's just a cloak.
Oh, okay. So it's not you can't, it's your character would not exchange his cloak for this one.
There you go. Oh, that's
Okay.
any better.
I could use a cloak of fire resistance. I am a frontliner.
That might make sense.
Backliners can also use it, just saying.
Yeah.
You just want shit. Shut up.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Protect the healers.
Yeah, what-
Exactly.
there's
Let them
literally
eat it,
an
yeah.
argument for every position.
Except me. Wait, does it require attunement? I forget.
No.
Ugh.
Fuck it. Someone else can have it.
There are many powerful items there are that don't require attunement.
We can discuss game mechanics at a different time, methinks.
Okay, that's all. Hi, Devin. This is a weird conversation to have in front of you.
I think Grawl should have it.
Okay,
I
regardless,
agree with.
we need to speak to Devin.
Yes. Also, where are we on the map?
Hello, Devin.
Yes, where
Pleasure
are we
to
on the
meet
map?
you.
Over here, the docks for the city, which is basically where you guys are. You have barely had any opportunity to move about the city whatsoever.
This
So you
looks
guys are still,
amazing.
thank you. I just sort of use a general purpose token for everybody, I guess. Here, we'll use this.
Yeah, we don't have a party token yet. Yeah, there you go.
And everyone should be able to move that around, I believe, assuming I made the
Nope.
terms correctly.
Negative.
Nope,
Lies.
We have access to it.
Yeah,
but we
never
don't have ability to edit it, I don't think.
you should be able to. Try it now. There you go. Okay. So, play nice, kiddies. All of you can move it around. So please, why did I say anything? I'm stupid. Okay. So you guys are on the docks. Looking around, the docks are fairly large. They are inlet in the city. I did mention, although I'll mention it again now because it was already 2 weeks ago, that upon entering the city, you notice that the city had sort of been broken down into districts with large roads running along each way of the district, banked by walls. So basically, these roads that you see running through the city, the larger of the roads, have these like sort of slated walls that come to the right and left of it, made out of stone, like a not flagstone, more rough hewn than flagstone.
Cobblestone?
Cobble.
Yeah, I guess cobblestone. I feel like there's a different word I'm looking for, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, cobblestone walls. They're pretty climbable, is what I'm trying to get at. They're there for construction purposes and for decorative purposes as well. They have like little carvings in different places. There's a lot of graffiti on some of them, depending on the area. Some of them are obviously going to be near lower level places. Near the docks themselves is a pretty low class place, so that you see like some drawn graffiti on a bunch of these walls. I'm talking too much about the stupid walls. Anyway, point is, the city's broken down into a bunch of districts, and you can pretty readily identify a bunch of what the different districts are just by looking at them. For example, you could tell that down to, so I'm just assuming you're looking straight into the city from your current, like, docks to your back. Down to your left, you can see that over there's the residential area. As it moves further in. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do it this way. I'm gonna ping. I'll eventually start writing it down on the map. I apologize. I can't. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Down over here is the residential area. As you get farther down, it remains a residential area, but it gets higher and higher class. So over here, I could do it with arrows. Sorry. Over here, you guys can see that, right?
Yes.
Oh, over here is sort of the lower class / middle class residential area. You will get your cobblers here, your tradesmen, your ship, your sailors, that kind of stuff. That'll be down in this area. Moving over here, we get to more the merchant square. You'll get people who have a little bit more money, can afford a bit better. They're a distance away from the shore, which is a good thing, the smell and all that stuff, etc. Fishermen over there. Moving along down over here, you finally get to the real high class stuff, which is why over. God damn it. Okay, well, you can ignore that. I used the wrong map. I had replaced something here. This little square over here is not a square. There's no buildings here. This is the castle. There's a large keep built up over here.
I got this.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Damn it, I'm really slow tonight. I apologize. So over here we have the castle. These little things built up around are shacks and little Hooverville kind of stuff. Shanty towns. Thank you. Oh my god, perfect. Shanty towns are built on the outside. This goes for basically all of them.
And they're like rather young shanty towns. They're not like
they are
villagelets.
They have definitely not been built up at least by looking at it. They don't appear to be any sort of permanent residence. You're not going to have any stone houses there. You'll have wooden shacks. Maybe you'll have some sort of multi-level things if people have been really ambitious, but very few and far between. These are going to be even wagons that have broken down or been taken apart. You'll have those as homes there. Or little stuff. This has you guys know what that's like. It's a shanty town. You'll have some interesting folk over there to converse with and stuff like that. Moving past the residential area, so this entire section is dock-based stuff. No problem. Is dock-based stuff. You'll get shipyards, shipwrights, storage areas, that et cetera, et cetera. That's this whole area over there. Thank you. That leaves the
Okay.
rest of the town is a more diverse collection of stuff. You'll get your shops and sort of market squares. Markets are sorry. This is God damn it! I really should have marked this off ahead of, or I should have marked it off correctly. I marked it off in GM, but I can't move everything from the GM. This is a market square.
You actually can.
One more time.
You can. You can highlight everything, right click.
No, I
and
know.
move down.
That's the problem. Is I wrote too much. So if I move
There's-
everything, it's going to move everything. There's might be some stuff there that I don't necessarily want you guys to see just yet. I'm
Can
sorry.
you
It's-
shift click stuff?
I can. I'll do it in between. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Anyway, point is, I think you guys got a fairly good idea of what the city looks like right now, right?
Yeah.
There
Pretty
are
much.
exceptions to the rules, but these are the districts as you see them. Back to the reality of where we are. You guys are at the docks. One of the warehouses just burnt down. That was this place, this abandoned warehouse that the firebug uses as hideout. You are right now in a dark alley that Yaldrum found, where most of the regular people, even if they were looking for you, would have trouble finding you. You're just sort of off to the side. But most people aren't even looking at you. They're watching the burning building. So you guys are there with Devin and the 6 other guards. They're still very appreciative of the fact that you guys basically took the bullet for them and went in after him yourselves. Having now found out that that firebug is still lost, they already did, but they're gonna basically say to you that they can't stick around. Their job was to track him down, but if he's getting lost in the city, they need a report back. They don't have basically a right to stay as long as they want. They need to get back there already. They're already kind of a little bit past due their time. They didn't know how far they would have to travel. The trip to Assenvere itself was not scheduled, basically.
Do you know of anybody we could speak about this investigation that's in town?
Devin's gonna look around to the other guards, but they all shake their head. None of them have been here or have family here.
Any idea what kind of people he targets?
Yes, that one he'll tell you. No persuasion check necessary. Yeah, castle. No persuasion check necessary. So he will say that it's been a little bit hard. I need to roll for him. Sorry, I forgot something. /GM roll. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. He says that he's had a good look at the at sort of the materials that they've had on him so far, and he has a pretty solid guess that mostly what he tends to target are people who have cheated,
Justice.
No. Shoot. Okay. Money lenders who intentionally swindle
Predatory
people who don't-
lending.
Yes, thank you. He tends to he tends to go after people who are economic predators that will intentionally find marks who either don't have a lot of money or a lot of intelligence, a lot of knowledge, and will take them for everything they got. So if you keep an eye out for the really downtrodden and you find out why they've become downtrodden, the reason, if the reason is an individual person that like stole everything from them or tricked them or something like that, that's the kind of guy he's going to go after. Okay, I could tell I'm doing a good job since the argument over how to spell castle is far more interesting than the
I'm
actual
paying
adventure.
attention.
Let's get to it. So Devin's going to take his crew and they're going to go off to start looking to charter some trip back. He'll be around for like the next couple of hours if you guys want to still go back to talk to him. But now you guys are on your own. Where do you want to go? What do you want to start doing?
Who's holding the acid that we found?
Oh, hi. My name is Jimmy.
You mind if I hang on to that? I might be able to take a look at it later, learn something new.
Yeah, I don't care. Merry Christmas. At least have it done. Mazel tov.
Dankeschön.
Suche.
Well, we have two things now of interest in this town. We could either start looking at leads for the firebug, or we can try and figure out what exactly the hell was going on in that basement.
I mean, I'm down for checking out the basement. Yeah. Duh.
Well, in order to do that, we kind of have to start with, the only lead we have is the Lord. Or whoever signed it.
I'm just saying. I think it would be a good idea to get good in with the locals and then go to the Lord.
It's not a bad idea.
I think we should go check out the laws and proceed to the legal arguments before we address the Lord.
What legal arguments exactly?
The ones that the peasant levies would be bringing to him about their contract. Not necessarily us.
I thought we sent them to a temple of a Minotaur.
Did we send? Yeah, I guess they went to Semerald to do that, didn't they?
Do we still care about the workers?
No, I care about gathering intelligence.
Ah, I see.
And we do, I'm just saying, we do have a lot of people who saw us run into that building. Authorities are going to want to find us no matter what we do.
I mean, the authorities already saw us.
In that case,
Correct.
I switch clothes. I switch vestments. to a different.
This is a good idea.
alleyway.
Yeah.
I switch into a different wife beater t-shirt.
So without saying anything, at least anything I understand, Macario starts just taking off all of his clothes in the alleyway.
Not all of them, just the overclothes, the ones that
Enough.
would not miss it.
Enough clothes to make me a little concerned.
Good.
I switch shirts.
You understand none of this conversation. Carl.
Fortunately, you are all in a relatively hidden alley, so even the
Oh
nudity
shit!
of
He doesn't. He
Macarius
still
is not
doesn't
noticed.
speak fucking common. I hit him over the back of the head because I'm still pissed off about that.
We'll find a solution at some point. In the meantime, we just need to keep translating.
Me and Jimmy can talk.
Fuck you.
Floating in the water
So-
next to you, you notice a small yellow fish that seems to exert psionic influence on you. Sorry.
What? What? Kill it! I'm going forward.
Sorry.
I wish
Alright.
that he had.
That was a
Common as
hitchhiker's
a
reference. I apologize. That was a hitchhiker's
Yeah, I
reference.
got it. I got it.
Yes. Alright, regardless. That fire hurt. And Rai, who is definitely standing here with the rest of us, he was hurt too.
How much did it hurt?
Enough that it would make sense for us to take at least a little breather.
I mean, I'm fine.
Do we
I'm
need
good.
to?
I'm fine
to
with
pursue
speaking to
that
the
directly?
authorities.
I mean, all of you are wounded at this point. Whether it shows up as hit point damage or not is not really the relevant part. You guys all just escaped a burning building. Whether
Well,
you're damaged to
four
the
of
point
us.
of hit points, well, yeah. Whether you're damaged to hit point level or not, there was smoke inhalation, there was fire. You guys were sweating buckets. Many of you probably have at least superficial burns, if not worse. So you're all pretty exhausted from this.
I need to buy a whole bunch of new water skins.
I say we go find a nice inn, and I'll go speak to the authorities before they think we're part of this.
I'm pretty sure they don't know we're not. Was there some kind of confusion that we were part of this?
No,
What?
no, you
Part of what?
People
We
did
took-
see us go into the building before
and
it
then
started
come
burning.
out. So they're gonna want to question us anyway, so I might as well go
Weren't
there
those the
willingly.
authorities that just left?
No,
Not
those
of
were
this
different
town.
authorities.
They're
Non-jurisdictional.
authorities.
Non-jurisdictional. They don't have any sway here.
They're from a different city.
Nunjoy what?
Exactly.
But they're
It's a-
authorities. They should be know each other.
Well, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm sure they have.
You're not
some, like-
making sense. You're speaking in foolish words.
They're
I think
from a
we should-
different tribe.
Before we find a place to stay long term, we should probably find out the lay of the land, figure out a little bit more about what's going on.
I can do that. I can help with that.
Have the authorities showed up yet? Like the authorities of the city are there?
This is the burning building.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we've been here a little while. Is someone at least...
Jimmy
Coming-
looks down the alley at the burning building and starts to scan the crowd looking for guards or the like. Please make a perception check for me.
No, not you, Notes. Go away.
How long have we been in the alley?
Probably 15 minutes, maybe.
If he
Conversation plus the
goes to
clothing
look
change.
for people,
That's
Aiden will
one.
pop up and support you.
Holy fuck!
Oh
I'd
boy.
wait.
Okay. As you're peering around, as you're sort of looking down the alleyway to sort of scan the crowd, you see a couple of people from the crowd are looking around as if trying to figure out where the people who were. Oh wait, there's one of them, and you see a couple of people start to point at you.
Wait, he failed a perception, not a stealth.
He failed a perception check with a critical miss. The rules for critical misses are indistinct, but the way I tend to make them work, and you can argue.
They
with me
actually
on-
don't exist in 5e, but how do we house rule this?
So the way I tend to house rule is I make it related in some way to what you're trying to do. I don't want to get into this in depth, but the way I view it
This is
is
what happens. He's the GM. He's in charge. We can argue about it afterwards.
I'm not arguing. I'm just curious. This is important going in the future.
so the way I see it is usually it's going to be directly related to the actual name of the role, but oftentimes the role is a stand-in for an attempted action. So over here, he's trying to look down the alleyway at the other people. Now, yes, I could have had him roll both stealth and perception, as well as, who knows, maybe tracking or knowledge of guard uniforms. I could have made him do 4 rolls, but it seems a little annoying to have to honestly constantly try to add up tons of rolls into all the different things that might apply. So I end up just going sort of with the primary checking mechanism. Over here, he primarily was using his perception. But a fail is going to be a fail that affects the entire thing he was doing, which means a consequence of failing over there could affect any of the aspects that's kicking in over here. So over here, while yes, stealth was not rolled, it was a little bit a part of what was happening. Short answer is a crit miss can mess you up in any way, in any capacity. It could be, honestly, a harpoon could have come from a ocean liner and hit you in the stomach over here. I tend to make it as related to the check as possible, or something like that. But that long-winded explanation was not really useful. And basically, yeah, we'll talk about that later. Sorry, everybody.
Well, I don't think that we should try to hide. If they want to find us, we need to make ourselves found.
I look out and wave at the people who are pointing at us.
Well, Jimmy walks
Smiling.
out of the alleyway.
All
And
right.
says, are there authorities for this town here yet?
He says to some of the people.
Yeah.
A bunch of the people start to sort of also look around, and you hear them mutter, "The guards."
No guards have showed up this entire time.
I mean, those guards just left.
So
did they
far, you
not?
haven't seen any. and neither do the people.
The guards just left. I do not know what you want me to say.
Bro, the guards were not of this town. They are from a different tribe. They
are
have
the people.
they have no authority here and don't give a fuck about
Then
this.
why were they not killed? They're in another
Because-
tribe's territory. They should be June. They should be taken.
Because Grawl, in our society, there's something called the due process and trials.
Well, I know that right there. I know of that. And that is horseshit.
Okay,
I have
understand.
3 nights in prison that say otherwise.
Okay. I fucking can't.
Right. Whatever action should be taken, we should take it. Post haste.
Well, should we seek out some guards? Should we try going directly to the authorities,
I
or
think it's really suspicious that the guards aren't
I
here
think
yet.
we should approach these authorities of not this tribe.
do you think maybe we
Talk
should
to
talk to the people around right now first?
Okay.
I look
Hello,
I can see-
people in general area.
while Grawl is talking. Grawl, keep talking.
Hello, people of the general
I want
area.
to-
It is a
okay,
pleasure
hold
to
on,
meet you.
go. I bet in game, not now. While Grawl is talking to the people, whoever the fuck he wants, I look for anyone in the crowd that's suspicious. Like, they're here Ever heard of the saying? What is it in English? A criminal comes to his own scene of the crime. Shit.
Aha! He returned to the scene of the crime. Sure.
Yeah.
Let me get a little bit specific here. What are you looking for exactly? You're just looking for anyone who you think looks suspicious, or you're looking for a certain behavior, physical characteristic?
I'm looking for anyone that matches the firebug's description.
Okay.
As little as we have it, and is looking suspicious.
Okay. Right now, you kind of just have to go on short, and when he is firebugging, wears red.
I still look for someone in red. I imagine, even if it's not like, oh look, I'm in pure red. A red shirt wouldn't stick out in the crowd. You know what I mean?
Okay. While he's doing this, what are the rest of you doing? Specifically, I want to know what Yaldrim's doing. I want to know what Destin's doing, and I want to know what Aiden are doing.
I was typing in chat, but
Okay. So that's what Tiersten was doing. Well, what was Aiden doing?
22 perception
22 from Destin.
from Aiden.
From Aiden.
I was typing what Aiden was doing in chat because you guys were
wrong
talking.
chat. Okay, hold on. Sorry. And people have. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay. So what are you looking for again over here? Are you looking for guards, or are you looking for? I'm breaking this up poorly. Sorry, Aiden. Let's deal with you. What are you looking for?
Like I said, whatever Jimmy was looking for.
That's not good enough. He was looking for two different things at two different points. I want to know what he was. What
The
Aiden
very
was
first
looking for.
time.
Okay, you look around for guards. Okay, as you're peering over the crowd looking for guards, you see a couple of people who seem to have what guards uniforms on, but they're looking like left and right and like hiding among the crowd. You see two in particular, in specific. Basically, you identify like on their shoulders some livery signs. It's pretty clear to you that they're members of the guard, but they're hiding and pretending like they're not. And for whatever reason, the people around them haven't noticed. What was the check from you, Jimmy, on the firebug look?
Oh, that's the thing. Hold on. Not in that one, 13.
You look around and you see a number of short people, lots of short people, and some of them are even wearing red or dark red.
I assume any particularly suspicious for my grade.
Not that you can see.
There's no reason he would stick around.
Well, we also don't know who he is, so him sticking around is irrelevant. He may have never even been in that building.
Arda, I have a question.
Yes.
Alrighty, so how entrancing, like how many people are looking at me as I talk to them in my big loud voice, standing over everybody?
A lot. Most people are still watching the burning warehouse, but there's a solid 20 people looking in your direction. You're big, and you guys were pretty part of the spectacle.
I want to find the person who's looking in neither of those directions. Who's, like, looking off to the side, looking down, not looking at two of the big interesting things.
All right, perception check.
Well, like perception checks, this is something.
People who are acting too hard.
10.
I'm gonna give it to you. You notice the same guards that Aiden does. You more notice them for this specific attribute that they're not looking at the fire and not looking at you. They're looking at the people around them. So like you're looking at all the heads of the crowds and you sort of get this Metal Gear Solid kind of visual cone that you see lots of visual cones looking one direction, lots of visual cones looking the other direction, and then you see two visual cones among the crowd swiveling back and forth looking a whole bunch of different directions. So you figure out that those two guys are not looking at you and not looking at the fire. Aiden notices them also. He's actually a little bit faster on the uptake here, and he notices them first, and he points out to all of you that he notices these two guys, and he is able to see pretty clearly that they're guards and that they're pretending they're not there. They're hiding about. hiding out. Someone translates this to Malcarios, I assume.
You mean the only person?
No,
Somebody-
fuck Macarios. Make him learn it common if he wants to be a part of this.
I
I'll
mean, why
protect
do I
him
need
with
it?
my life, but fuck him.
Why do I need it
common?
translated? I have eyeballs, don't I?
But you haven't seen shit yet.
You
No, but I can look at what the other people are looking at, right?
You can, if you know to look at exactly where Aiden's looking, then yes. But as he's looking into a crowd, it is very hard to see exactly where his eyeballs are looking.
Okay.
Should
If
we
there was
talk to these guards?
Do you know Undercommon?
No. He knows Abyssal, Celestial, and Primordial.
Literally everything I know minus common. Like a fucking.
So he's like you, but slightly more useless.
I'll talk to him later on.
Should we talk to these guards?
I light my censer and start swinging it.
In the middle of the docks with like the people around.
Yep.
Okay.
What is this he's lighting?
And I start singing hymns.
He's doing
a
his incense again.
Hymns.
Hymns, I believe. Malcarios takes out a small metal cage attached to a chain, lights the incense inside. It starts to spew forth a colorful, like reddish smoke, and he starts to swing it around himself slowly, and chanting under his breath hymns to his god of choice.
Shit.
Right, so we need to make a decision. Do we talk to these guards? They're probably not going to stay around very long.
Yeah, I can. If you want me to, I can go.
I
talk
think
to
we
him.
should let them do what they're doing and we'll just follow them after.
Aiden interrupts
So
Malcarios to say that looks like fun.
Hey,
But Carrie, hold on.
Okay, Conrad.
Yep.
You see all this happening, you pick up all this information, and you realize that it's sort of fallen to you to make a decision here. Everyone else seems to be lost in their own heads. What do you want to do?
Yeah, figured.
What? I literally said we should let them be and then follow
Yeah.
them after.
I think the guards-
put that in here. My bad.
But the guards are acting a bit too, I don't know, suspicious right now for me.
They're probably doing that on purpose.
I lean down to Yaldrim.
And
Do you think I should yell out to them?
So then,
He's
Go
not
ahead.
here right now.
Oh, he's not?
Yeah.
a
Shite.
spy among the people, assuming this is what Firebug is doing, it's best to capture the spy in private than in public so the Firebug doesn't know he's been compromised. I'm just saying, a compromised spy could be very useful, but he's dead weight to us if he knows he's been compromised.
What is it? Are there spies now? Are we dealing with secrecy and spies and shit?
are you
I think
suggesting that we shouldn't involve the authorities because that might make him nervous?
I think we should capture one of these authorities in private.
No,
Or-
absolutely
that
not.
is- You are an idiot, Jimmy.
Bro, I said I take
He's
my mind
dead.
to approach in private.
He's dead.
No. One thing we should definitely not do is piss off the authorities of this town.
I said
Send
approach.
Dustin to go infiltrate the crowd and see what he can listen to, see what he can hear. He can talk his way out of a situation. The rest of us should leave.
Something we need to consider is whether the firebug right now is something we need to focus on.
We should keep an eye on it.
Yeah. But at the moment, Look, we just got back from a place where people were trying to do some sort of connection to the Shadowfell. That is important, and that might be time sensitive considering the way the planes relate to the time of year.
Wait, what?
To the calendar.
Yeah, the planes get closer together. That date is approaching.
Oh. Like the solstice?
Basically. Similar.
So, I think, does that sound like a good plan?
Duh.
What, have Destin go out and talk to people?
Yeah, we
I'm
can
okay
meet him
with
at
this.
like the eastern or the southernmost gate at a certain time. Say, what time is it now? Mid-morning?
It's very early morning, actually.
If
So
he's going,
then-
I'm going with him.
That's fine, but you're less conspicuous than he is.
I never
need
went in
to-
the
you need
building
to find
as
some way
well,
to-
so
I gesture for the red robe. Pass for now, Growl. He should hold it until he's done.
You want me to be conspicuous?
Less conspicuous. There are several people in the crowd with red robes.
Okay, because you were saying that I was less conspicuous than Destin.
No.
So you meant more?
Destin is less conspicuous than you.
Yeah,
What
I
are you
never
sug-
went into the building, so
Destin didn't enter the
That's a
building.
good
All he
point.
did was stay outside and organize the
fire brigade.
bucket brigade.
And the only others
Helped with Bucket Brigade.
and so
The only
did
other
Jaldrin.
person who stayed outside was, for the most part, Jaldrum.
And
Aiden.
And he is not low profile, and Aiden.
no, he is not.
So perhaps Aiden, Dustin,
I
and
think he picks
Conrad.
low pro-
I'm okay with infiltrating the crowd if that's what you guys